I'm going to talk about what is expected from a quality assurance engineer these days in the industry, and what are the kind of challenges that we face when we be a quality assurance engineer. Okay, so first of all, most of us are still performing manual testing. Some of y'all are doing automation and technical testing. So here are some of the key questions that I have. So can I survive with my current manual testing task can I actually survive with my manual testing in this current industry environments and customer demands? And also, what are there for me to learn? So, and what should be my attitude? And what are the strategies that I should take as a quality assurance engineer to satisfy the industry demands? Okay, and also what kind of technical knowledge I should possess, and where can I get them? And how can an organization also do their part in creating people with great skills to meet the challenging demands of the industry, and also how we can evaluate ourselves. Okay, so today we know there are a lot of buzzwords going on in the QA practices, and also in the industry, IT industry, software development industry. Most of y'all might know, most of y'all know test automation, then performance testing, exploratory testing. There is also a new concept which is already built in the industry called robotic process automation. And most of the companies, they offer web services. So we may have to do web services testing, behavioral driven development, security testing. We have to know about Docker and also continuous integration. These are some of the buzzwords that are going around in the industry. And most of the QAs today have to learn this, because if you go to most of these job vacancies, they tend to request these skills. So we as QA engineers need to actually focus on improving these skills and moving forward on it. So as an individual QA, everyone faces this. Okay, most of y'all work in industry companies in the industry and perform testing. So people have a difficulty nowadays to move on to the other organizations, or move on to other skill areas. So the problem is, most of all y'all have manual testing knowledge. People write test cases, and the thing is, the companies want more technical knowledge, QA people, right? And new people. So there are people who are like to migrate, and they want to get obtain the skills. So what they want is they want to actually move into a company in a foreign environment. So customers also, they know about test automation, they know about performance testing, they know about web services testing, security testing, and when they give a project to a company, they demand these to happen in the testing process. So the QA engineers that a company or the industry should know these key skill areas to perform this job. So what happens is people tend to get focused into their company work, but people lack on improving their skills on these newly created technical areas for quality assurance engineers. So that's why people, they are not concentrating widely on the skills, so they narrow down their skills. So this create a problem sometimes a person in a company focuses morely towards, one specific, manual testing task, but whereas in 5 years time, if that person wants to move out to another organization and goes through the job vacancy advertisements, he finds he finds it as a very he finds it difficult to move on to the other company because the skill set, the technology has changed. So any questions, guys? So how can I be a challenging QA? Most of us, we go on a traditional approach where we get an application, we go through the application, we create the manual test cases, we test on them. And most of the testing approaches are actually, it's rigid. It's not, people does not think, they don't have the mindset of what if. They should look at other, exploratory scenarios. Okay, so example, if we send the password or username to to the website, we don't check whether that is exposed through the transmission line. Or for example, if an email, if we have to test a website, we just test it on the normal network. What happens if we are going to cater this to a rural country which has less internet bandwidth? So for example, let's see whether, let's get an example via Facebook. If the Facebook is going to be accessed in a country like Somalia and they have internet with less bandwidth power, okay? So what happens if the bandwidth is low, whether the site will load properly? So there are so many tools that we can use. For example, Fiddler, we can, throttle the network speed and check whether a particular application, web-based application performs well in a low bandwidth situation. So we can also check, sometimes developers can be tricky. So QAs are the gatekeepers of quality in a, before the production goes live, the product goes live. So we have to check thoroughly what is happening, not just front end. What comes from the back end, we have to check. So a tool like Fiddler we can use to check what kind of responses comes, what kind of error codes that which might come, which is hidden by the UI, but this might be triggered later in production. But as QAs, we should look towards more drill down testing, more exploratory testing, rather than just going on traditional ways of testing. Okay. So, and the other thing is QAs has to know the tools. For example, we might today get an project to automate a test scenario using Selenium. But we might also get a project from a customer where we have to automate a mobile application. Then you, as a QA person, should know to automate mobile applications, we have to use Appium. So as a QA person, you all should know to use Appium to do automation and also to do web services testing. Say, for example, if it's a .NET, if you are using .NET as a scripting language, you might have to use REST Sharp. If you are using Java, you might have to use REST Assured. Okay, so you have to know all these underlying tools and technologies. For example, a QA person might have to move into another organization, right? And that organization will be using JavaScript. And as a QA person, you might have to automate test cases using JavaScript. So that then you have to know about other JavaScript automation tools like WebDriver, Protractor, so Nightwatch.js. For example, there's another another tool which is now developing called Cypress in Java on JavaScript. So those things you all have to know, right? So this is the challenge that you all have. So the customers might come in different, demands. The customer might say, I want automation in Catalan Studio. Are you ready to do this? Okay. A customer might come, a Canadian customer might come and say, I want to do it in Cyprus. So are you as a QA person ready to take this project, right? For example, let's see, a highly paid job, a QA engineer job is given by company A. They pay 250,000 rupees, for example, and they want a person who knows Cypress automation. If you have not known this language, you cannot take that job. Okay. So the ultimate thing is, as a QA engineer, to be challenging, you should know the tools and know-how. And also the other things are the coding knowledge. You might know Java today. I know most of you all know Java, but Java will be commercialized soon. So that means companies, the customers might have to pay for the license, for example. Say. So the customers might go for Python. So how many of you all know Python? How many of you all can do automation in Python? How many of you all can do automation in Appium? How many of you all can do automation using a REST test automation client using Python? So the industry keeps evolving, keeps on changing. So we have to actually, as QA engineers, as technical people, we have to actually know how to move on with this stuff. So then there are other things. You all have to have a coding background. You all have to know coding standards, which might be global coding standards or your organization specific. So you all have to go through them. So these are the things that you all have to know. Okay. So the leadership and managerial scripts also you should process, because you as a QA engineer might go to higher levels as managers, architects, and as senior managers. So you all should know people management skills. So how can you guys get there? So it's not just learning one language. So if I stay cool, saying that, okay, I know about, Java, Selenium, and Appium, and I keep quiet and stay, then it won't work out. Because as I told you earlier, the industry keeps on changing, and you all have to jump into other languages. You all have to know them: .NET, JS, JavaScript, in Python, because customers comes in different, projects. They might want this Python language, and you all have to script in Python language. And also, how can I get there? Okay, there's another thing that you have to know. You have to learn new tools which is used across the industry. Catalan Studio, Cypress, okay. Then we can take JMeter, okay. Then also on the security testing also, there are Z-Attack proxy that you all have to know how to do security testing. And also, most of you all don't do this personal, you all don't allocate your personal time on learning. So this is where you all, will not do this personal learning, and you all will get, one day concentrated on one area. So what I have done in my time is I allocate at least 2 hours on my personal learning. That's why I have, gone through other languages, Python, JavaScripting, okay. So I allocate every day 2 hours. That is my personal investment. So that's why I got to know like 50 tools to do test automation. So I can be, whenever a customer comes, hey, I want this in .NET Selenium, I can do that. So then as a QA engineer, then from my organization, another customer might come and say, I want it in Python. Okay. I want Appium Python. So this application should be automated using that language. I want this in Cypress. So you guys have to know. You guys have to invest on the personal time. Read blogs and articles. Connect with experts. Experiment stuff. You guys have to experiment. You guys have to create automation frameworks and experiment them. Okay. If you just learn a language, just learn an automation tool like Selenium, it won't work out. because nowadays QA engineers need to know how to build test automation frameworks. Engineers need to know how to install the Docker grid in your machine and run your scripts parallelly using Docker-based Selenium grid. So participate on tech sessions and also try to participate on software testing conferences, online conferences. There you can get a lot of ideas. So this is how you get to that point where you can, fight these challenges that you are getting in the industry. Otherwise, you will be isolated from other people, because we are getting a lot of competition from abroad when we are going to compete for projects and also for the resources. So these are the new technologies that everyone should know, at least some of it. So Selenium, Catalan Studio, then SOAP UI. So there are other tools like Rest Assured, so JMeter, Postman, then CI tools like Circle CI, Jenkins, Travis. Okay, the languages Java. So you cannot say that I am a Java automation engineer, because you will be outdated and you might not able to go to other jobs because they demand other languages and tools. So these are the challenges that we'll get. Okay, so as a leader, so we have managers, we have leads in an organization, test automation leads, QA managers. So what they can do, start using more tools. If you are not using Selenium, start using Selenium. If you are just do a pilot project, if you're not using Catalan Studio, start using Catalan Studio. Robot Framework is a Python-based tool. If you don't know, just start using them. Okay, divide your team as groups, or assign something for your individual QA member, so that it will help. Assign a task to the QA member so that he or she can do research on that particular tool, particular area, and come back to the entire QA team and do a presentation. And this might create a kind of a learning environment. Initiate tech talks within your company. Give some topics to the QA engineers, senior QA engineers, on new technologies, performance testing, security testing, tools, okay, so that they can do initial study, research, and come back and do a tech talk. Encourage employees to go on seminars, conferences, and also be speakers to these conferences, because that will actually uphold each individual team member's skills, and even the QA entire team. Assign objectives, quarterly objectives, so that they can achieve. Facilitate knowledge sharing. Have some blog in your organization and tell them to write articles about the skills, not just automation, but on performance testing or on explorative testing techniques. Okay, bring in industry experience, skilled people to your organization, and do some tech talks, some consultancies, so that it will also trainings, so that it will uplift the skill of your QA engineers. So also encourage people to take certification, not for just paper qualifications, but for actually for them to, they will get trained on some particular area, and what is demanded from that certification, they might know. So have those certifications also, not just ISTQB, but other kind of certification that is available. For example, CPSAT, which is conducted by Agile Testing Alliance, CPWST, that is also web services testing, automation, and manual testing. So have this certification. So as individuals, how can you evaluate your skills? My idea is to go once in a year, go for 2 or 3 interviews, jump into another company, but also to evaluate yourself, what is being asked, what is being demanded in the industry. Not just stay in one place. Oh, all of a sudden, then when the things go wrong, you go for interviews, and then you will get, you'll find that you won't possess those skills. But just try to have this practice once a year. Just go through the, an interview process, 2 or 3 interviews, and do some online certification, not to just take a paper qualification, but to know that you are skilled on this area, and go to TechShare sessions. Online sessions are there, so you can have these TechShare sessions there. Okay, then talking to your peers. So talk to your peers about technologies, have discussions. Okay, look at job posts routinely and see what kind of skills are coming up in the industry and what kind of things are demanded by companies, so that you can actually go through online tutorials that are available and upskill yourself and blog articles. So don't just read articles. If you want to be an expert, blog them. Learn a technology, then evaluate them and write an article which will actually evaluate what you have learned. So evaluate them. So for example, you have learned Selenium. What are the good things in Selenium? What are the bad things in Selenium? What are the good things when you implement in Python? What are the good things when you will implement in Java? So have kind of, blog attitude of blogging articles and posts. Okay, so that's it from my perspective of how can you become a more challenging QA. So the main thing here is that you guys have to actually uplift your skills. Okay, see what is there in the industry. So don't just learn something and keep quiet. Use that practically. When you learn automation, also do so many, try to automate certain sites, and you get the practical knowledge of it, because you might go to a class, you learn it, and you close your laptop and stay. That won't work out, because automation is really challenging. You might get different elements, you might get different scenarios, you might get scenarios where even Selenium cannot handle directly. So when you get into something, you will know that, okay, you get a problem, then how to solve this problem. You might go to the internet, go through Stack Overflow, then you go through the solutions and try to find a solution. Okay. Then you might get in some kind of things like, for example, evaluating a PDF chart. Okay, customer might say, I want to evaluate this PDF chart. But if you don't possess that knowledge, what happens is, you will say, oh, this cannot be automated, but that can be automated. So there are so many challenges that you have to face, even being an automation engineer, even being a performance engineer. Okay, there are so many things. So it's up to you guys to face these challenges. So the methods that I told are the ways to face these challenges. Okay. Guys, you all have questions? Yeah, AI ML I can share. Okay. What you can do is, I will share my email address. Okay, since I cannot just share it here, so what I'll do is, I'll share you some AI ML stuff. Okay, most of the AI ML stuff are written in Python. So, and also there are tools. Okay, so I will share you all these tools. I will share you my email address. Any more questions, guys? Hello. Okay, guys. So let's end this session. So if you have any question, just raise it to my email. That's it. So thank you for joining, and hope you got something from this 20 session, 20-minute session. So let's wind it up. Thanks for participating, guys.